Information is everything. It is basically everything that people might know or think about or imagine. It can be data that is transmitted between computers, it can be between people and computers and machines. But ultimately, information is something that, a type of knowledge that people hopefully find useful. The obvious examples of information in our lives, I mean, these days we all carry all kinds of digital devices on our person, and all of those deal with information. You know, they're all about delivering, processing, storing, analyzing, sending information. Less obvious examples of information are, you know, little things that you might notice in your environment that signal something to you. So, you know, the fact that a door is ajar to my office means that I'm, you know, open to having somebody knock on the door and just randomly come in and say something. And that's a little bit of information, even though it's not, you know, a door is not something that normally people think of as carrying information. So at the School of Information, we look at, you know, information through its entire lifetime, you know, how it gets created, the conditions under which it might get created, why somebody might want to create it, how they create it, what form it takes when it's created, to how it might be stored. Most of the time for us, it's often in a digital form, but of course, we also have people who are in the library sciences who think about preserving information and preserving the actual physical form of information, whether it's in books or something else. Information and information technology are ultimately embedded within a human society. So in computer science, the emphasis is almost entirely on the technical artifact of computers, you know, the hardware and the software, as well as the specific algorithms by which a computer might process data. At the School of Information, we care about those things, probably not at the same depth as the computer science department, but we're interested in a whole nother angle to information that the computer science department is largely not as interested in, and that is how information and technology interacts with human beings. So we care a lot about how information is conveyed to people, how it might affect people, how it might influence people, and also what people want to do with it. How can people better do the things they want with information? And so all of these things that have to do with the design of technology systems, the design of information processes, as well as their impact, both on people as individuals and on society, are important to us. Especially now when all of us are de facto archivists with our mobile phones. You know, we are constantly thinking about what kinds of information to receive and which ones to ignore. We're, you know, even when we're not conscious of it, we're constantly being influenced by data, some of which we don't want, but which is happening anyway, some of which we do want, but we may not be completely aware of. All of those things are now happening in a way that is, you know, dramatically greater than it was, you know, even just a few years ago, and certainly more than a generation ago. So I would say, especially now, the School of Information is particularly relevant because we care more about information and how it impacts society and how it interacts with people than we ever have before. The culture of the School of Information is very, I would say, open and exploratory. We encourage people to, you know, come up with whatever they think they want to do that we have expertise on, and basically think about helping them acquire the skills they need to do those things. And that's true for our students, but also for each other among the faculty. The kind of person who would be a good fit for information studies is somebody who knows that what they want can't easily be captured by a single discipline, who are really driven by curiosity. You know, they want to learn new things, they want to understand what makes things tick, and I mean that in a much more expansive way than understanding how a machine works. It's really about how society works as a whole and how very complex strands of things like information, technology, and people come together.